Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News. I'm James Creechbaum. And for all the truckers out there, please be safe. And here's a little bit of weather for you. The panhandle of panhandle of Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, there's going to be a lot of rain today, tonight, into tomorrow, sometimes heavy. Also, Florida, a few severe thunderstorms will be possible on Friday night and into Saturday across South Florida. A couple of tornadoes and isolated damaging winds will be the main threat, so be careful out there about those. Let's see, what else? We got Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Minnesota, and Iowa. Snowing in those states right now into tonight. Western Washington State, rain and lots of rain, and sometimes heavy at times. And you move on over into eastern Washington, into Idaho. You're looking to a rain into a mix, so be careful out there on those roads. Also in Michigan area, Pontiac area, a lot of rain called for in those areas too. Okay, going into, there was a UFO sighting. Matter of fact, a pilot captures a clearly visible UFO flying at high altitude. Now, the Viva Air pilot, during a commercial flight over Medellin, Colombia, noticed a strange object flying to the plane and decided to record it. Unlike any known aircraft, these objects have been sighted overcoming the Earth's gravity with no visible means of propulsion, and they also lack any flight surfaces such as wings, and there's no sign of any exhaust as well. Also, New York governor, he proposes steep increase in fines for overheight and overweight trucks. Today, Cuomo unveiled his 2021 executive budget, which includes a proposal to dramatically increase fines for overweight and overheight violations for truck drivers in hopes of cutting down on bridge strikes. The current penalty for a first-time offense for overheight violation is a $200 to $500 fine and or 30 days in jail. Cuomo's proposal would increase this fine to $5,000 and keeping the jail sentence the same. A plaque and a bench in memory of Art Bell has been unveiled in Pahrump. While Pahrump has made no bones about being proud of its adopted son, it recently made it official by dedicating a plaque and a bench to Art Bell. The plaque is displayed on a pedestal near a park bench, also in Bell's memory. Texas trucker. He was driving westbound along the I-10 near mile marker 599 until he had his own encounter nearby, according to a testimony from Mutual UFO Network. And let's see what he's got to say here on his report. He says, I ignored it, but they kept talking about these UFOs, strange lights that made the truck crash when the object crossed over the highway at mile marker 599 and emitting intense heat. The witness stated, I said some not so pleasant words and drove on. But soon the trucker had his own encounter. While at mile marker 614, I saw it through the fog, very bright floodlights on the right. As I got closer, I saw the brightest, clearest lights in approximately a 200-foot wide circle with one light missing. I'm guessing that there were 11 lights in the circle and one in the middle emitting a beam straight to the ground about 15 feet from the roadway. As the earlier witness stated, the trucker also felt the heat from the lights. It was very intense. As he drove under the object's lights at 65 miles an hour, he goes on to say it was intense heat, even with the AC blowing in my face. There were multiple objects hovering in the area. About 100 yards down the road, another was on the left, and 100 yards down, another on the right, and another 100 yards down, one on the left. They did not move and made no sound. The trucker had not believed in UFOs before this report, and of seeing them is believing for himself. Next news break, top of the hour.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
Well, hi, everybody. Here it is. Well, it's Thursday already. Boy, the week is just moving fast. Tomorrow's Friday. Tonight, we're going to be talking, well, about Mothman. You know, we don't have to talk about cryptids around Halloween. We can talk about them all year round. Now, James, who's our guest tonight?
Tonight, our guest is Rob Shelsky. He's been on a few times before, talking UFOs and things like that. But tonight, he's going to be talking Mothman.
Very interesting. I got an email back yesterday or the day before from a trucker in Eugene, Oregon. He just fueled up his big rig at one of those truck stops, and when he was pulling out of the truck stop, he claims he saw a Mothman, which is about 6'5" to 7 foot tall, huge wingspan. But before it opened up its wingspan, he first thought it was some guy wearing a costume. It kind of looked like he said, "Jeeper Creepers," only even uglier. And next thing you know, the thing started levitating off the ground, stared at him, and flew off. Interesting.
That is interesting. That sounds a lot like a couple of reports I got a few months ago from the Illinois area. Actually, one of them came from West Virginia, too, but very similar. Only this was in Oregon. I wonder if now Mothman's expanding his sightings.
Well, you know what? They've been, spotted all around the country. I mean, there's a lot in Texas. There's been a couple reported, like in Idaho and California. This is the first one. Well, the second one I heard of, actually, in Oregon. And Eugene, is kind of halfway in the state, I think, if I remember right. But I can tell you, it wasn't something under 4 feet tall when he's saying between 6'5" and about 7 foot tall. And it stared at him for a while. And he felt very uncomfortable. He thought it was some other trucker or somebody, with a costume. Till the thing kind of floated off the ground, opened up its wings, and flew off.
Yeah, that moment in time right there, if anybody to give you an idea, anything you've ever didn't believe in or you've never seen or you thought was a myth or a lore or a legend, when you actually see it for the first time with your own eyes, whatever it may be, that moment in time freezes right there, and you realize something just came off the pages of fiction or what you thought was fiction, and it just stomped over your belief system, and now you've got to try to process that. And I'll tell you, it can really change a lot of people.
Well, yeah, and, again, how many people see something like this, don't tell anybody because, well, they don't want to get labeled as a fruitcake or a nut. But could you imagine, okay, these truckers are out 24/7. When they're doing a long haul, they have to stop for their breaks. They also have to stop, to sleep. But they're out, morning, afternoon, at night, to a certain time. If anybody's going to see any cryptic out there or UFOs or aliens, they're going to see them. I mean, me and you don't, get in a car that much and travel day in and day out, mile after mile. They do. So the odds of them seeing something is far greater than anything we can see. Again, a lot of these guys kind of keep it to themselves because, they have their image. They're a trucker. And a big shout out to Dreamland, who just went on to our chat. He's one of the few people who have figured it out. I'm waiting for Barb to come on next, hopefully. But, that's what I'm saying. The Mothman sightings have been increasing.
They have been. Oh, I can validate that with all the the research. I'm connected with all the stuff through cryptids and stuff, and they have really spiked this year. Matter of fact, this year they're probably 4 times what we've had over the last years total. It's just incredible. Now, you mentioned about the sightings, and I can tell you, I'm all about patterns and data and stuff like that. And the one steady pattern is sometimes people get sightings. They might wait a couple months, year, or years before they ever say anything because of what you're saying. They're maybe afraid to be scorned or lose a job or whatever it may be. But sometimes they just don't come forward right away.
No, you're right. And guess what? A priest, a Catholic priest, tapes a boy in bubble wrap, then hooks him up and locks him into a closet.
Oh, my God.
For punishment.
Somebody ought to punish the priest. Oh, boy. What? Oh.
I don't know. Interesting, isn't it? Well, you know what? Remember that guy last week? It spent like 60 days up on a flagpole in a barrel?
Yeah, I seen that picture. That's crazy.
Well, there's another one. As of today, a man plans to live in a barrel on top of a flagpole for 80 days.
Oh, boy. I love these records breaking. You know, to really make it a double indemnity, they ought to be up there and baking some biggest cookie or something. But, yeah, that one, the barrel on the pole, that was really high, too. It wasn't like, did you see the picture of that?
Oh, yeah. But,
my goodness.
But think about that. How can you, how is he going to walk after 80 days? I mean, you know, his muscles and everything. And these barrels are not that big. So, I mean, what? You're going to eat, sleep, and I'm not going to say the other two words, but, I mean, you're going to be in a barrel and not come down for 80 days. I mean, you know, I'm sure you're going to be cold. You're going to be hot. I don't know. But, I mean, you can't move around much in a barrel. Could you imagine if a windstorm came and you're on a flagpole in a barrel?
I got news for you, Gary. It doesn't take very much wind. That's got to be 100, 200 feet up in the air. And it doesn't take much wind for that to start swaying. And I got to tell you, if it really kicked up a big wind, it would sling him out of there like a slingshot. But, well, yeah, you're right. How do you do what you got to do and eat and sleep and be comfortable? Not for one day, but 80 days.
Yeah, I mean, you know, unless you're a dwarf, and nothing bad about dwarfs, but an average person, like 5'7" to 6 foot something, these barrels aren't that tall. So, I mean, you know, how are you going to curl up in a barrel? That's really strange. Well, guess what? Another human face on a goat was born on January 27th.
Yeah, I seen that. That's freaky. that looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like somebody put a mask on a goat because it's just weird looking. It is strange.
Yeah, well, that's two of them, like in a month.
Yeah, and there was another one, last spring, too, that it was going around.
No, almost as good as that fish, too. You remember that fish that, had a human face here back last month?
Yeah, that was freaky. That's another thing.
Crossbreeding, that's what it is. Aliens.
Chimeras.
Or taking our DNA and mixing them with other creatures to see what they turn up with. I mean, you know, how would you like to be a giant goldfish with Trump's face?
That's how the jackalope was made.
One of the two. We have Ryan on here. Hi, Ryan. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Ryan.
How you guys doing?
I was going to say, who's this guy? Taking on here.
Yeah. Well, who else is sick? Because I've been sick for 4 days. I took, I think, a little bit too much of, what do you call it? Cough medicine, Dayquil. But, you know, it says it on there. It doesn't make you dizzy or tired. But I'll tell you what, I feel like I drank 3 beers